Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pig City Podcast. We are here today for the Week 4 preview. Alexander, how are we feeling today?
I'll let you know in about 23, seconds of playtime left in this Seattle game.
Yeah,
JSN.
Seahawks
They're
are
in
about to
field goal
kick
range.
in the field goal due to a bad kickoff. So
Why
that
are they
tells you all
spiking?
when we're starting this.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you had a timeout. Like, what were y'all doing?
They were just practicing, bro. So yeah, Seahawks are going to win by 3. That game's over. Alexander ended up being on the right side of that one. So started off the week with a win. Good job by you. But this week, everybody, keep in mind, the first game we're going to discuss is the first Pig City primetime pick. And it's not just primetime. It's international time. This is 9:30 Eastern in Ireland, I believe, Alexander. Is that correct?
Yeah. Ain't it Dublin?
So we'll see who's going to get the dub in Dublin with Minnesota and Pittsburgh. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. And Alexander, I'll let you start, as you have been a Vikings fanboy for some time now, mostly due to McCarthy, but now no McCarthy, and now it's Wentz, and now I'm more in on the Vikings. So I'm going to let you go first because this Steelers-Vikings matchup, both these teams, I'm not quite sure what to make of.
Yeah. Minnesota's defense looked really great last week.
And last year.
But how much of that was just the fact they were playing the Bengals with Jake Browning at the helm? And then on the flip side, Steelers, you're used to them having an elite defense. And to this year, it ain't really been that impressive. Like, yes, they held their opponent to 14 points last week, but their opponent fumbled how many times inside the 5?
Well, they had 5 total turnovers, 4 fumbles, 2 of them inside the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
But they're making it happen. They weren't just dropped balls.
That's true.
Bad ball,
Making it happen.
bad possession from the Patriots. But anyways, Patriots aren't involved in this, Alexander. My bad.
So with that all said, I'm having to pick between a team led by an Aaron Rodgers who, yes, he can still make the throws every now and then, but it ain't the same Aaron Rodgers. Or a Minnesota team that's led by Wentz, where last week, luckily, their defense was playing so good, so they were able to go kind of run heavy and take the pressure off of them. If they're not able to go run heavy in this game, is this a game the Steelers just kind of take over, do their thing, and just win by like a 1-possession game? Nah, who am I kidding? It's going to be Minnesota, boys. There is no doubt in my mind. I'm taking Minnesota here. I'm jumping on the Wentz wagon, and yeah, Minnesota wins their first one in Dublin this year.
All right. Yeah, you took way too long on that. I'll be honest with you, bro. We all know what you were doing the whole time. But I'm actually going to ride with you. I'm going with the Vikes. Something just feels right about the Vikings in a 9:30 game. Feels like they're like the second team after the Jaguars I think of in that regard. But yeah, I think their defense just swarms the Steelers, and I just don't think the Steelers have enough firepower to stop the Vikings defense. And I mean, it may be a close game, so they do have to cover the 3, which is a little concerning. But I definitely think they're a win, and I'm not going to pick the Steelers just to cover in this situation. Although I don't know the complete altitude and weather makeup and all of the above of the setup there in that field, but I mean Boswell could kick a 60-yarder and win, to win, I guess. So yeah. So you ready for the next game?
Yep, wherever you want to go. I'm just going to turn my Seattle pick green, baby.
Yeah, Cardinals, the fact that they got back in and then you lose on the kickoff, basically. I mean, the kicker's got to be feeling terrible about himself. And like we said, Seattle's kicker gets the redemption kick. Speaking of redemption, Alexander, this next matchup are 2 teams that have started out 1-2, but both had Super Bowl dreams coming to the season. And starting at 1-3, you might get some juice for either of these teams to make the playoffs after this. So maybe you want to bet the loser of this to make the playoffs. And that matchup is the Baltimore Ravens facing the Kansas City Chiefs. The Ravens on the road in Arrowhead are 2.5-point favorites, if that tells you how bad it looks in Kansas City. However, on the other side with Baltimore, they blow the 40-25 lead against the Bills. Okay, they struggle against the Browns for a half, then pull out the win. Lions, they're getting kind of, you mentioned it felt like the Lions were dominating. I said, well, the Ravens are kind of in it, but when you look back, the Lions had 2 90-plus yard drives. They out-physicaled them every way. And then when the Ravens had a chance, down 4, their running back has his fourth quarter legitimate fumble problems. The numbers coming out on his career of that is actually crazy now. He has to be aware of it. It has to be mental. But is that gonna make a difference? Is it really that because if you think these teams are what they've been playing as, I still think the Ravens are a way bigger favorite, and I don't know, maybe Vegas just knows how the money's gonna fluctuate, but I'll start this one, and I'll tell you, this was the game that I first picked. The later slate of games usually won't start with those, but this is my most confident pick, and it's the Ravens 2.5. I think that is an easy line for them. I think obviously, the Chiefs are gonna have a good game plan. They're gonna try to control the game, but they can't because they don't have a good run game, and that's how you beat the Ravens is just to run at them. And I don't think Pacheco or Kareem Hunt have anything really left in the tank. So give me the Ravens 2.5. They get back on the track, and the Chiefs, we're gonna have a real conversation at 1-3.
Yes, for my Pig City pick of the week, one of the 3 games I selected was as well this Baltimore Kansas City matchup. I, like you, believe Baltimore is going to cover.
Right.
And I
Okay.
think it comes down to I believe in Lamar. And I just think Kansas City right now they don't have the full weapons yet back on offense. And that I think they're going to need to be able to compete in this one.
Yeah. Viewer beware. Voter beware. Better beware. We've not historically been great on this pod when we've agreed on picks so far. So just want to put that disclaimer out there, but I feel great about this one. All right, Alexander, let's move on a little bit. I'll pick up the energy a little. Sorry. I'd really embrace that L I just took from the Cardinals. Never believe in the Cardinals. All right, this game, Alexander, is one that we also have picked. I see it's on the docket here. We both selected this game, and that is the Colts against the Rams. Rams are at home, 3.5-point favorites. The Colts, the darling of the NFL this year, 3-0, punted once. Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor look like a complete team, making plays everywhere. The Rams look legit, look like the real deal, had a huge lead on the Eagles. Eagles obviously come back and win that game because, I mean, the Eagles just basically win every game at this point. But Alexander, I want to let you go first on this one as well because I actually don't know if we're on the same side of this, even though we both picked this game.
Yeah, so you got the Colts. You touched on it. They're 3-0. They've only putted once. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's back to being the old Jonathan Taylor we were used to seeing. And Danny Dimes looks like he's ready to be a good quarterback. Like, he keeps this up and keeps playing like this. Like, maybe by the end of the year, you're like, hey, he might have made a case to be like a borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And they got the weapons out there at receiver. They're getting Pittman going. They got Tyler Warren going. Their defense looks, I wouldn't say great, but it looks good. Like, they're getting the job done when they need to. And then on the other side, though, you have the Rams who their defense before that second half where they got lit up by the Eagles, like any other game to that point, they have looked great. Like, they've held teams to low points. They've done what they needed to do. And there's a reason they're sitting 2-1. Like, they've done the right stuff. Stafford, like, as much as this season coming in, everybody said his back was bad. He's been out there. Like, it doesn't look like it's bothering him. Like, and their offense, it was the most points they put up so far to, like, any game was last week, but it all came in the first half, and they had multiple drives that stalled out. They couldn't finish the drive, had to kick field goals. And with that, I think this is going to be a game where you need to get the touchdowns. You can't settle for field goals. And there's one team, they don't settle for that many field goals, and that's the Colts. I think Danny Dimes, Jonathan Taylor, they're going to punch it in. Rams are going to get stalled out trying to kick field goals. Like, the only way Rams have a chance is their little knuckleball kick and hope it gets in the Colts' head or something, like the return guys. And there's a bunch of like fumbles and stuff, and they recover. That's the only way Rams got a chance. Colts gang, baby.
Yeah, I am on the opposite side of this exact same game, and I'm going with the Rams. I think they clearly look like a contender. This is the game, and again, I know I've been getting a lot of slander for being a Colts hater. This is a game if the Colts go to Los Angeles and somehow not only cover but beat the Rams. I said after week 2 that I would not have disrespect for the Colts. I will actually start respecting them fully if they can win this game because the Rams last week, they feel like they let that game slip away. That they took their foot off the gas. They let the Eagles back into it, and the Eagles just somehow beat them. It's been like that since the Carson Wentz days, if we're being completely honest. We always beat we just own Sean McVay. But regardless, I have a stat for you, Alexander. The Rams have won 9 of their last 12 games. 3 losses only to the Eagles. This team beats everybody else. Whenever they're healthy and playing well, and I want to say this, the only other part of this, Devontae Adams, I'm not 100% sure he's playing. He's a little banged up, a little limited right now. That could change things a little bit, but I don't think that the Colts are ready to stop this powerful Rams team. Corum's getting involved now. I love this game. I love the Rams side of this. And this is when people start to see, yes, the Colts may be a playoff team, but they're not a contender. Alexander?
Question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, but you can interrupt me.
You mentioned the only losses to the Eagles. Do you think there's any chance, like Shane Steichen was last with the Eagles before he became a head coach? You think his relationship he still has where he can reach out, figure out the right recipes to be able to do what they need to do? It seems like this has all the makings of the Rams try to do exactly what they did to the Eagles, slow down the run game and make Danny Dimes beat us. And the way Danny Dimes looks this year, Danny Dimes can beat them if that's what their game plans to do.
They don't have A.J. Brown. They don't have Smitty. They don't have Jalen Hurts. They don't have, like, the running back comparison, sure. They also don't have the Eagles defenders. And if we're being completely honest, as amazing as that game was, the Eagles had 2 block kicks that saved the game for them. I think
Yeah.
the Colts are a little more susceptible on defense, and I think you see Stafford. There was a play where he got hit and looked a little uncomfortable, but then like 2 plays later, he was fine. I don't know what kind of meds they are giving this guy, but the reason I was skeptical of the Rams and didn't have them finishing well in their division, I didn't trust his back. I didn't trust his health. I'm past that, and I'm viewing them completely in a different light. And I think they're truly one of the contenders in the NFC. And I think the Colts are a potential playoff team in the AFC. And I just think that's the divide of this game. And the Rams are at home. The Colts are having to travel there. I just feel like I don't think this is going to make me think, oh, the Colts aren't good. I just think this is a bad spot for the Colts. It's really hard to be 4-0 no matter who you play in the NFL.
I agree with all that. But are you not concerned at all that the Rams basically made last week like their Super Bowl and then they lost, and then not only lost in heartbreaking fashion, that it could just literally like have like a hangover effect for like a game or two?
I don't really buy into that narrative in general. We can get onto that throughout the year. It's not like it's a trap game. If anything, they're like, hey, we can't. We got to move on. We got to go out there and showcase that, like, we believe we're just as good as every team in this league.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be, like, extremely easy. I just think they're better and they'll make more plays. I'm excited for this game, though. I am so happy to watch this game.
What's this, our first one of the year where we both picked for our Pig City Pick of the Week, but on opposite sides?
I think so. And speaking of Pig City Picks, we do have 2 more still to get through, and these we did not overlap. So I'm going to let you lead the way on this one. This is Washington traveling to Atlanta. Washington 1.5-point road favorites. So, Alexander, what did you like about this game, and what side are you on?
When I first saw this line, I started questioning, did they see something different than I saw last week? Penix looked like he was a shell of himself. Like, and then Washington, like, even without Daniels, they did what they wanted last week. And then there's a chance Daniels plays this week. And you would think with him back, like, a 1.5 line, like, give me Washington all day. I would probably adjust the spread. I'd be confident enough to adjust it to like 5.5 to 6.5.
Gosh, you're going to wish you had those points, though, when it comes to the end. Terry McLaurin may not play. Any concern there?
They haven't really utilized him properly all year. They haven't. He hasn't fully been utilized like he was last year. They've been focused more on trying to get Debo involved in the offense. They're probably trying to run Debo to get him to lose a little bit of pounds, get a little bit more in game shape.
Debo's been more productive than I could have seen him being. Also, when are we going to start having the conversation about Terry McLaurin that, yes, he had a really good year last year, but, like, he's not that type of, like, what, you know what, let's move on. Compare Terry McLaurin to other receivers that he's compared to, and it makes no sense. All right. If there's one thing I'm not going to do, it's to bet on the Falcons for a long time, so I don't mind that pick from you. The next pick, Alexander. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, you want me to read it out to you so you can gather your thoughts?
On my pick, on the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fine. I didn't know you had it in front of you. My fault. That's why I was reading them all.
With the next one, Zachary's last Pig City Pick of the Week. He chose to choose between Philadelphia, who's 3.5-point favorites, against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay, where it's going to be a hot one. What do you like in this one?
I like the birds. I'm not going to try to like do this like thing where I talk through this and make it seem like I'm going one way. I want to make something really, really, really clear. Okay. and I'll try not to get too loud. The Philadelphia Eagles have had one kryptonite for the past several years, honestly dating back more than that, and it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, specifically going to Tampa. You hear Chris Long talk about on his podcast whenever he had to go to Tampa when he was the Eagles. You hear many people talk about just the travel and the number that the Bucs own the Eagles. The Bucs have the Eagles. Shows are headlining their shows with Tampa Bay, the team the Eagles need to worry about in the NFC. I'm going to tell you right now, the Philadelphia Eagles have nothing to worry about. Not only is Mike Evans out, okay? Yes, the Eagles have some unfortunate injury news also. Am I going to sit here and go through every injury and talk about how significant or non-significant it is? It's football. Injuries happen. You know who's behind center for the Eagles? Jalen Hurts, okay? And when it comes to winning a big game, losing the Super Bowl changed this man in all the right ways. No, the Eagles are not going undefeated. Maybe. But they're not going undefeated, okay? I get that. But you think that this Eagles team isn't looking at this game a little differently, especially after how bad the first half was last game? Jalen Hurts is making comments to the offensive coordinator about the coaching. A.J. Brown trying to be nice guy saying it's on all of us, but Sirianni saying, oh, the offensive coordinator, he's still calling the plays, but Jalen really sees the field very well. I want to make that clear. We don't know if Godwin's playing. There's a lot of things in this where it's like, honestly, it's respect to the Buccaneers. This is only a 3.5 point spread, if we're being clear. Their offensive line is decimated. I don't know that Wirfs is playing. They have injuries galore, and the Eagles are just better at every single position. Who would you rather have starting on the Bucs team compared to the Eagles team? So I don't understand this like, oh, well, this and that. I'm over it. The Eagles roll in this one. Eagles beat the Bucs. The noise stops. Todd Bowles, blitz Jalen, please.
Yeah, I love everything you had to say.
Okay.
Love it to a T. And to be quite honest, I hope they take the approach that the Rams tried to do. Take Barkley out the game. Make Jalen beat us. Please. I love watching Jalen beat people because people like sleeping on him. And Verse came out literally this week, and he's like, I really don't understand why people keep trying to say Jalen can't throw, that he's not a quarterback. Like that, he literally shows multiple times that when he's put in that situation, he can do it. And I get he just got beat. Maybe he's just saying that to try to sound nice. But that's a top defensive player where he's like, people need to stop disrespecting the dude. Like he's shown multiple times that he can do it when he's being asked to do it. It's just with this team, a lot of times he doesn't always get asked to do it because Barkley can just run rampant.
Like the Steelers game last year, the narrative was when things were clicking well, by the way. The Eagles are playing well. And it was like that. And he goes out and he just pass, comes to the podium. Is that what y'all wanted? That I just love the guy. And let me read this to you, Alexander. And if you're an Eagles fan listening, and you're like, man, I understand, but like, let me just ease your mind a little, okay? This is from John Stolness. So shouts out to John on X. The Eagles got smoked by Tampa last year, but I've forgotten they played the game without A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith, and it was before Cooper DeJean was even starting in the lineup. Their starting receivers this game were Jahan Dotson, Paris Campbell, John Ross, and Johnny Wilson. So if you're saying, well, yeah, even this Super Bowl team, they played them last year, bring it. Oh, it's going to be too hot. You're welcome in advance for this pick. I almost didn't pick it because, like, of course, I'm going to pick the Eagles, but, like, I had to. I just absolutely had. All right. That is our overall picks there. So we are going to now transition, and I'll do a little intro part right here. All right, everybody, we're going to continue with the slate. We are going to go into the rest of our picks for the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock slate before heading to our primetime picks. The first one, Alexander, is the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New York Giants. And I know this is the game you were flirting with a little bit. You were, sending some DMs. You were trying to see exactly how it was. And ultimately, for whatever reason, you ended up not going with it. But I want you to talk to us about this game and what you do like about it. Chargers.
Yeah, so when I sat down to do my Pick City picks of the week, we only picked 3. I had 6. They popped out immediately to me. Like last week, I was struggling to get 3. This week, I saw 6. I was like, I like these. Now I just got to figure out which ones I want to put for my 3. And to be quite honest with you, the main reason I didn't put this one in there is when I've got burnt this year with the pick, it's because it's a higher line. Eventually, that's going to change. I get that.
Yeah, that's how they get you, man. That's how they get you.
I get that. But this Chargers team, they look good. And you're expecting me to believe that Dart in his first start is going to be able to take on a Chargers defense that looks good this year? Like it might be one of the worst situations you can put a rookie like quarterback in for his first start. Like, why not wait until you have like don't they play like the Saints next week or something?
Yeah,
Like some
yeah. I
easy
don't.
opponent.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Play the Saints.
So with all that, that's why I like the Chargers in this one at 6-point favorites, and it was in consideration. So if you like this better than one of my other three, trust me, I'm with you on this one. I like the Chargers in this one as well at 6-point favorites. I mean, they're just clicking right now. That offense looks amazing. They finally got Hampton going, and their defense is playing good, and they're taking on a rookie quarterback in his first career start.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
there's been players speak out that they were asked, like, after practice this week, like, how do you, like, feel about Jackson Dart, like, getting his first career start? And they're like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess, like, he's my quarterback. Like, of course I'm going to support him. Like, they're not even happy they just made a change that quickly.
I'm not gonna comment too much on. I think they're just not really that happy overall, to be honest with you. Yeah, the only thing I want to add to that, Alexander, I just want to make sure I have these pulled up so I don't forget somebody. Okay, got it. And nobody so far from pick. Okay. The reason I pulled this up and what I was looking for on my phone is I have an anytime touchdown in this game. I have an anytime touchdown parlay. It is a fiver. Okay. And the person I have is Omarion Hampton. First game is truly the starter. No Najee noise in the background. Okay. Again, sad, crazy offseason and start of the season for Najee. He might be done maybe forever. I don't know. But I love Hampton to find the end zone because I just think the Chargers are going to score at will. And you know how Harbaugh is. He wants to play physical. He wants to run. He wants to showcase his beautiful quarterback. I mean, if I ever find somebody that loves me the way Harbaugh loves Herbert, I'll be happy forever. So maybe that'll happen for me. But one thing that will happen for me is that I'll hit the anytime touchdown with Hampton. You got something else on this game?
I like that anytime touchdown, but there's one that I like more than any in this one.
Dun,
And
dun.
that is for Lad to get his
Okay.
first touchdown on the year.
Okay.
He plays from the slot half the time. The Giants against the slot this year, they're one of the worst defenses
Yeah.
against covering the slot this year. So I like Lad to get him his first touchdown of the year. I think they're going to make a point to try to get him a little bit more involved. They
Uh-huh.
saw the media talking about it. Like you're disrespecting one of their boys. Like they're going to make a point, especially in a game like
Yeah.
this where he's going to have favorable matchups. They're going to make a point to get him the ball in this one.
Yeah. And one thing on the media note, in general, teams don't care. But when it's like when it becomes disrespectful to one of their own, it's like, hey, like we were just talking about with Jalen. I thought you were going to go Keenan. Little fun reminder for you all. If you want to keep riding the Keenan anytime touchdown, he is the only player in the NFL that scored in all 3 games so far. If you want to keep riding it until he doesn't, I mean, it's like I could see everyone on their team scoring. You tell me that Hughes is going to have a huge play. You tell me Lad's going to find the end zone. You tell me Hammond. Hey, you tell me Gadsden, their tight end's going to find. Like, yes, they're not going to score 70 points, but like, I'm not worried at all. All right. Moving on to the next pick, Alexander. We have, oh my gosh, this is an ugly one. I'm going to go to it fast. It's the Saints. I told you I'm not spending much time on them. Facing the Bills, probably the Super Bowl or the AFC favorite to make the Super Bowl right now. Josh Allen, Super Bowl MVP, front runner beside Lamar, despite the Ravens being 1-2. Interesting there. But this line is 15.5. Again, just to make it clear, we don't have to pick the spread on any of these games. We just talk about it. Here's what I'll say about this game. The Bills are going to destroy the Saints. Don't try to talk yourself into anything positive about it. If you don't like the points, I'm staying away from it. Don't pick the Saints. Don't make your Sunday revolve around Spencer Rattler having to do something positive. And there's no chance the Saints win. So that's it. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, I stayed away from this one just because the point total being so big. Like it's kind of in a way to me set up where Saints with like the final seconds backdoor cover. Like that's kind of how this kind of feels set up with the point total that big. Like this is a massive spread for an NFL game.
Yeah. And there's just other games I want to talk about more.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the next game I want to talk about more. You want to intro this one, Alexander?
Yes, we have Cleveland going into Detroit. Dan Campbell. I saw the comments. Y'all came at me. Dan Campbell's back.
Yeah.
He's got the lines clicking. They went in. They took on Baltimore in Baltimore and beat them. And they made it look easy. They just ran all over them. And with saying all that, Detroit is 10 points favorites against Cleveland. I'll let you take it first.
So Cleveland has played, we were talking about this a little. They have played 10 defensively, 10 incredible quarters of football. You saw against the Bengals, second half with Joe Burrow, they had 8 total yards on offense. You see the first half against the Ravens, they're in that game. And then the second half was bad. Let's ignore that for now. But 10 of their 12 quarters on defense, they've been dominant. Myles Garrett's not giving you any time to throw the ball. Jared Goff's on time and he can throw, and they're so quick that I don't think the Lions are going to struggle. I just don't see the big plays being hit. I think this is a game where the Lions have a good game plan. They can run to the outside. They can obviously throw to St. Brown over and over, take his reception over, whatever it is. I like Laporta to get involved, but this Browns defense is, I'm not going to say like a top unit in the NFL because they're also going to be on the field so much with their pathetic offense. But this is not a game where I think the Lions are just going to score a ton of points. I'll be honest. I don't really care about the spread because I'm not picking it, but I would take the Lions side. And the Lions win this game. But again, we talked about it on the recap. I think this becomes where it starts to shift from like, are we really going to keep going with the Joe Flacco thing? Everybody likes Judkins in this. And this is actually the one thing I want to say left in this game. And that's my second leg of my 5 touchdown parlay. And that is Jahmyr Gibbs. It's an easy one, okay? You saw Montgomery last week. He had the 72-yard run. He had big plays after big. They like, hey, let's split it up a little. Gibbs is going to be the one that takes more of the lead this game. He's not had a great start of the year if you really look at his running numbers, but he's going to be fine. Jahmyr Gibbs finds the end zone of this, and you're 2 for 2 in your anytime touchdowns.
Yeah. This one, I do like Detroit to win, but I wasn't touching the line just because Cleveland this year has been really great against the running game. I'm not saying Goff isn't going to just throw all over them. I'm just saying it takes a part of Detroit's game away from them. And the last team that did that to them was the Packers. And we saw how that game turned out. They couldn't get their offense fully going. I do think Detroit wins, but I think it's going to be more hard fought and closer. I wouldn't really say closer. Yeah, I just think it's going to be kind of low scoring in this one. I mean, it's obviously going to be low scoring with Cleveland. They just don't score that many points on offense,
They can.
which is why I like Detroit to win, just because I think Detroit can score more than 14 points. And that's normally what Cleveland gives you, is about 14 points. That's about it. Like their average has got to be somewhere around there on the year. So, yeah, I like Detroit in this one, but yeah, I don't expect their running backs to get going in this one at all for Detroit.
Yeah, and full transparency, this is side TV, like, easily. This is not with the Saints and Bills. Put it over to the side, let it play, see the highlights when they come on. You don't need to watch every snap of this. Unfortunately, we will because we genuinely have a problem. All right, Alexander.
Yeah,
Next
the
game.
next one, we have a team that literally held a NFL team to 0 points last week. They're riding the highs. And then you have a team that they're going to their home field that just hasn't seemed like they can fully put it together yet. Like, you got people questioning the coach, like, why are you not utilizing the rookie running back? Like, he's getting like third team reps for most of the game when your other guys were fumbling left and right. And then you finally turned to him late in the game. But at the same time, the guy didn't do much when he had his chances late in that game. Yes, you can say it was maybe a little too late to maybe try to do stuff like that. I don't know. But it's like one of those, like, it's a weird game because I don't think the Panthers are that good. I want to believe in the Patriots, but they just haven't like shown me that they can put it together to make me to believe. And with that being said, the Patriots are 5.5 point favorites at home. And because of that, that's why I didn't like this. It didn't pop out to me for especially when I had 6 pop out immediately. I kind of just stayed away from this one because this feels like it could be, we finally see the Patriots break out, or it could be just an ugly game that like one of these teams just barely wins by like a last second field goal or something.
Yeah. The Patriots seem like they're getting on their own way. They've really frustrated me. We remember everybody was talking about it. It was the week 2 or I'm done with you pick of the week for me, and they did come through. But then last week, they didn't kill me from like a monetary standpoint, but they killed me just from I want this team to be good. I really don't feel like it was even on Drake May. Henderson had problems early in the year with pass protection. He had 2 huge, terrible holding penalties, and Vrabel's going to hold you accountable. And it's like, man, enough is enough, though. You got Stevenson fumbling. We got Gibson getting touches. And maybe this is where you stop riding with me. But Travion Henderson is scoring a touchdown this week. He's a part of my 5 anytime touchdown parlay. They're going to unleash him a little bit. They got to get the ball in dynamic playmakers' hands. They don't have it on the outside. Diggs, washed. Booty might be, no, he's okay. He's fine. They don't want even, Kyle Williams doesn't even play. Hunter Henry, solid, fine. They're going to score. Travion Henderson's going to find the end zone. This is where you add him into the parlay with the people I'm going to give you, you make the money. So that's my third of 5 legs. And actually, I'm kind of excited, weirdly, about this game because I want to see how the Panthers defense responds after just taking advantage of the Falcons. I mean, they made Penix look the worst he's looked anytime I've ever seen him, including in college. All right, moving on, we have maybe the saddest matchup of the week, and that is the Tennessee Titans. And Cam Ward will still be playing. He was a full participant in practice today on Thursday, so he should be good to go. But I don't know that it really is going to help the Titans a whole lot. The only thing that may help the Titans is they're facing the Texans. And the Texans are 0-3 as well. They were my team that I'm regretting more than anything. Any preseason thing I said or thought or believed solely because they're the best team in the division. Their defense is very good. It still is. CJ Stroud is a franchise quarterback. I think that might possibly could maybe somewhat still maybe be true. Hopefully you could tell by the way I said that. I'm not stamping it still. But I'm not giving up on CJ Stroud. The Texans are going to find a way to win this game. They can't go to 0-4. I guess they're probably not making the playoffs either. They're probably not winning their division. I still think I might have to put in Texans to win their division this weekend. I'll be honest with you, because based on these games, they're only going to be 2 games out of first, and for what I'm predicting, I do like that. I am not excited about watching this game at all. It is the eyesore of all. I know I was joking about the Lions and Bills, but at least they have dynamic playmakers. I don't know what I'm looking forward to from either one of these teams. I don't know what's more likely. Calvin Ridley drops a ball or Nick Chubb runs 4 times in a row for 8 yards total. I really don't know. I don't know what the odds on those lines are, but I despise this game. But go Texans. I'm going to actually look up the odds for that while you talk.
This one was one of my 6 that popped out to me.
Wow.
And it popped out to me because I think Tennessee can cover the 7-point spread. The Texans' offense just hasn't got going. They haven't put a lot of points on the board. And if you're only going to put so much up with a 7-point spread, I think the Titans can cover 7 points. And with all that being said, like, it really, to me, just comes down to the Texans just haven't got going. Like, they got to figure out this offense. They got to get Nico going. I get that they don't have Mixon like they had last year, but Stroud's supposed to be the franchise guy. He's got to put this team on his back and start doing stuff. Like, this is a game. The spread shows it. They expect you to go in there and dominate. So go in there and dominate. Show what type of team you are and start fighting. Because it looks like they have no fight right now. And if they come in this game with no fight, the Texans are going to cover and Titans are going to cover and make it close. You can't give Ward just a little sliver of hope in these games.
Alexander, let me ask you a question really quickly. Do you think that the Falcons are a good football team?
The Falcons? No.
Yeah. Panthers?
No.
Saints?
No.
Cowboys?
Not really, but they're better than all the ones you've listed.
They're terrible. Giants? Commanders?
Yeah, they're better than everyone you listed.
Okay, but here's the point. I just did a parlay right now, live time. Ride with me, people. Texans still to win the division, parlayed with the Eagles and the Bucks winning their divisions. Those 2 teams are winning their divisions. Throw in the Texans, increase odds just a little bit. I like it. Good plus money.
Colts hater. I'll say it.
If the Texans are going to, this is the best their odds are going to be. That's all I'm going to say. So after they win this week, they're going to keep moving up and up. They're at plus 750 right now. Was it a waste of money? We'll see. But it was for me. For me, it was worth the shot.
Keep fading the Colts. You know, just because you want to keep fading the Colts, I'm going to do it. Tyler Warren, anytime touchdown.
I mean, I'd love that. I have as much Tyler Warren as anyone. I'm just saying it's good value. You don't have to like the pick. But all right. Sorry for the little detour there. All right. Next pick, Alexander. This is actually a game. I don't know if you know this or not. This was my 4th one I was deciding between. And that is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers at home, 3.5-point favorites. And Alexander, the side that I'm on is the Jaguars. The 49ers every week is just injury after injury after injury. Bosa to the IR. Kittle not close to coming back. Ayuk, it seems like he's not even like a part of their plans in the future. Brock Purdy might play this week. I guess so, maybe. If not, Mac Jones is hurt. This team is decimated by injuries, and they're 3-0. I just feel like if the football gods are real, they can't let this depleted San Francisco team be one of the teams that's 4-0. I know it happens sometimes, but in their current form, while we have them winning the division, they're not a 4-0 football team. And I'm basing it on that, as well as I'm kind of falling back for the Jags. I went back and forth all offseason. Every other week, I was in on the Jags, I'm out on the Jags. I just think they're competitive enough to at least cover this. Now, if we're talking just for the pick of if they're going to actually win the game or not, it's a little more scary. But Alexander, Brian Thomas was one of the top 8 receivers in the NFL last year, and he's not even got anything going this year. Not involved hardly at all. I like Tootin getting it going. I like a lot about this matchup for the Jags. And also, I feel like I'm addicted to favorites this week. And I was searching, I was scrolling through the list. Let me find an underdog. Give me an underdog. And the Jags are my underdog this week. Although, I'm not putting my full stamp on them, so don't blame me if they lose, but you're welcome if they win.
Okay. Yeah. This one, I just think if Purdy plays, San Fran just too good of a team. They're going to do what they need to do to win and get the win at the end of the day. They're going to utilize McCaffrey. If Jennings comes back this week, Jennings will probably have a big game. They still have Ricky. Ricky's starting to develop. He's getting better and better. Like, I just think San Fran's they are a winning team. They're a playoff type of team. And they're going to show it. They're going to grind it out. They're going to win this one. Heck, they'll probably even cover the 3.5.
Well, and that's why I kind of wanted to pick it, though. Not necessarily for the win, but the cover. But yeah, I like the Jags in this game a lot. I'll talk myself into betting on them before. All right, Alexander, one more game before our final primetime picks, and that is a game where this is one of the most disappointing teams to me on the season, the Las Vegas Raiders at home. 1.5-point favorites against the Bears, who, if you have any Bear stock, you have to be feeling decent after last week. Yes, you played a porous pass defense in Dallas, but Caleb looked the best he's looked as a pro. Burden found the end zone. Loveland involved a little bit more. Swift looked okay. Rome is becoming a true receiver. DJ Moore is basically your backup running back at this point, and he had a receiving touchdown. Everybody got involved. Things looked smooth. Ben Johnson was cooking. I guess answer me, why are the Raiders a favorite in this game? Do you like anything about this game?
This matchup for me was the other game that was in consideration. One of the 6 that popped out to me of what we could select. And the reason it is because I like the Bears in this one. You heard it here. I've read the comments. I'm a Bears hater. I get it. A lot of times I am. I don't like the Bears.
What?
This one's more, I think the Raiders just aren't good. Like, their defense just looks like it's Swiss cheese out there. And I think Ben Johnson's going to cook up something, and Caleb is going to just throw all over them. I like a Roma Dunze anytime touchdown in this one.
Oh my God.
And I just like the Bears to cover that 1.5-point spread.
I'm dumbfounded. I definitely like the Raiders in this game. I was just confused at the line, so I was scared to bet on the Raiders, but this might be a head-to-head matchup between us. You know what? Unofficial pick. Let's add it to our list. It won't count for our Pick City records, but let's add this one. I'm on the Raiders on this.
All
right. I did leave out. I omitted one, and it's because we started with it as our first pick. Derrick Henry is a part of my anytime touchdown parlay. He is the 4th of 5th leg.
I like that one.
The struggles he's had, everything is happening. Everybody's saying he can't. He's actually statistically really bad short yardage. It's crazy that he's more likely to have like a 99-yard touchdown than a 1-yard touchdown. But regardless, I think he finds the end zone, bounce back game for Henry. So I still have one left, and there's only 3 games left. So Alexander, we're now going to transition into the next part. So we'll hit a break and be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pick City Primetime Picks. We got Sunday Night Football, and we got another doubleheader on Monday. But this clip that you're about to watch is for the Sunday night game between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. The Packers, 7-point favorites after losing just a horrific showing against the Browns by a field goal, and Dallas got decimated by the Bears. Alexander, we know we hate the Cowboys, but do we hate them enough that they can't cover a 7-point spread at Jerry World?
I'm going to be honest. This one, when I saw the line, That's like 7 points. That's really what Green Bay has to cover against Dallas in Jerry World. Then I thought, Dallas is without CeeDee. That makes me feel a little bit better. And it makes me feel good enough to pick Green Bay to cover that 7-point spread. I think Green Bay finally gets the rookie going in this one. I expect Golden to have some big plays in this one.
Say it.
He's
Do
going
it.
to break the game open.
Do it.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Ah.
I'm going to save it. But if I was to do it, I would put a Golden anytime touchdown. I'm probably not going to put it in mine. I might by the time it comes around. Might throw one out there Sunday night, just a little single game parlay. But I'm not going to put it in my like list of anytime touchdown parlay. But I'll probably do it in the single game parlay, like I did for the Seattle one. I did a anytime parlay of Marvin Harrison. And luckily that one hit. I was getting real worried at the beginning of that. What's your thoughts on it?
The Packers are going to destroy them, unfortunately. Listen, I'm never going to want the Cowboys to win, but like it wouldn't be the worst thing if the Packers lost again. It'd be funny if the Packers just weren't really that good. But unfortunately, I think they are. I think you gotta bet Micah Parsons for a sack or a turnover or something, just for the fun of it. I'm not going to because I don't really want anything to do with either of these teams. We have cowards on one end and just front runners on the other. But I also am on the Packers side, and this is the fifth leg of my 5 touchdown anytime touchdown parlay. If you watched earlier today the full preview, or if you watched it when it came out on Friday, you will know I already have 4, and this is the 5th one. It's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs finds the end zone. It's not pretty. You're going to get worried because they're going to have big plays to begin with. He's still going to be fine. He's going to find the end zone. And that parlay together, Alexander, is plus 1582. So spin wisely. I think there's a great chance it hits. I am looking forward to making you all money, and at least we get to celebrate a touchdown against the Cowboys together, because that will be the final leg of it, and it'll be very fun for that to end it all. And I love doing that.
Okay. I like it.
All right. Now we have to go to the next part, and we'll transition. We'll hit a break and come back. Hello, everybody. Welcome again. Welcome back to Pick City. It's Monday night. We have 2 games, absolute battles. We're going to see every single one of these teams battling in the postseason. No, we're not. This is a horrible slate of games, but that's why we're here, to make it enjoyable, because maybe there's some gold where you think there's trash. Alexander, you're in charge. Let's talk Monday night.
Game 1 of the Monday night doubleheader. You have the Jets going into Miami. Miami is 2.5-point favorites. Both of these teams look like they're a shell of themselves, and you know which way I'm going with this one. I said it. I'm going to give them another chance. This is their other chance, the make or break. I'm going with the Jets in this one to cover the 2.5. I kind of like the Jets to just win money line with it. I also like a Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown in this one.
I like that.
I think out of the 2 games that are listed in the Monday night, this one's going to be a more enjoyable game to watch just because it's going to probably be close. But I do think the Jets pull it out and pull away at the end.
Okay. So Miami, a team that all offseason basically, anyone that was kind of in the football talks, we kind of wrote them off, rightfully so, it looks like. And then the Jets, who there wasn't much said about, looked great in week 1. Week 2 looked like they didn't know what to do. Week 3, Justin Fields. Tyrod throws it a little bit. They get back in the game somehow, make it interesting, and then lose a heartbreaker. It seems like all the momentum and the arrows would be pointing to the Jets. But the Dolphins aren't dead yet. Not in this game, at least. We killed them as far as their playoff hopes. We killed them as far as their Super Bowl aspirations. Mike McDaniel's probably going to be a coordinator and never a head coach again. But they're winning this game. The Jets are not going to go to Miami and showcase to the whole world in primetime that they can. I can't remember a Jets game in primetime where they look competent. And we're not going to see it here. You might see their offense running well, but this Dolphins team had a great game plan, had a great script, and they had even more time to prepare this time against the Dolphins. They've had 10 days, right? They went from Thursday night to Monday night. They've had plenty of time to rest. They're ready to go. They're going to have a perfect plan. And the Jets defense is, let's just say what it is, they're soft. The Dolphins are going to move the ball. Y'all saw Julian Hill roll humps. And I hope I'm wrong. I want to say that to you as your friend, somebody that believes in the Jets. I hope I'm wrong on this, but I'm on the Dolphins side. I just think they're more talented, and at a certain point, the Dolphins aren't as horrible as everyone thinks. They're not the Saints. They're not the Giants. They're not good, but they're not in that lower tier of teams. And so they beat the Jets.
If Miami loses this game, do you think we see Tyreek Hill traded first or Mike McDaniels fired first?
The Tyreek trade's very tricky, and they've said they've had zero communication, especially some ongoing litigation. I think McDaniel could be fired very soon.
I think if they lose this, McDaniel might get fired before week 5.
They're not losing this, but if they lose it, especially if it's awful or it's anything to do with coaching, yeah, he's done. Honestly, I'm not even. Should I say it or no?
Say it.
He's probably getting fired regardless, but like for his sake, like a Tua injury might be the only way he doesn't get like canned right now. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because then you have Quinn Ewers coming in. What if he looks good? Or you have whoever the heck. Quinn Ewers isn't their second string, but whoever the heck they have back there, it should be Quinn. But regardless, that might be the only way he saves himself. The Jets aren't good either. I mean, you eventually got to give them up.
Yeah, that's why it's make or break.
Yeah, I mean Patriots,
Do or
Cardinals,
die.
Jets. We really. It's just those AFC teams, and then the Cardinals, the NFC West. I don't know. All right, Alexander, let's finish this up. This is the second part of the Monday Night doubleheader. On you, dog.
Game 2 of the Monday night doubleheader. We got Cincinnati going into Denver. Denver is 7.5-point favorites. And to be quite honest, I think that line's deserved. The Bengals just look like they were a shell of themselves last week. I get it. Denver fully hasn't got clicking, but they were able to not fully be clicking and still hang with the Chargers, who are right now looking like one of the top teams in the AFC to beat. So I like them to use this as a get right game, a figure stuff out, get the offense clicking fully. I look for them to get going on full cylinders in this one. I just think Browning probably actually, I like a Browning 2 interception game here. I mean, they might end up pulling them just because it gets that bad, but I don't know who the other ones already even turned to. But
it's a bunch of other Jake Brownings.
Exactly. So do they pull them? They just let them keep throwing picks? Like, I don't know. It's a bad situation to be in if you're Browning. And do you have like stuff pulled up to where you could look and see what like Chase's line is, like receiving line? I'll almost be willing to go the under in his receiving line.
Just say go the under, dude. Whatever.
I don't know the actual line, but yeah, I would most likely go the under.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to get him involved early. They're going to throw to him. Are you saying Chase Brown or Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase. Chase Brown, like that guy.
Jamar Chase, that's actually I like that. I was thinking Chase Brown. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously he like is the worst running back of all time this year. He's making Trent Richardson stats look decent. I'm on the Bengals in this one. I'll be honest with you. Okay, I'm taking the points. Okay, they're not winning this game. I want to make that very clear. They're covering this spread. The Broncos, whatever it is, they don't have the ability to blow out a team right now. They don't have that second level. They don't have that next gear. And I don't know, unless there's just a switch that has to flip, I don't know that this is it. Now, you could argue against the Bengals defense is a good time for it to happen. But something about this Broncos team, Bo Nix, he's missing on the deep balls. I'm sure he's hearing that. Maybe that inspires him. But give me the Bengals and the points. It's going to be ugly. Hold your nose. It stinks. Make the bet. Take the points. They're giving them to you. Okay? It's a bunch of points.
I also wouldn't mind a Troy Franklin anytime touchdown in this one.
I'm done with touchdowns. I went 5 running backs, and I'm out.
Yeah. But I feel like you went this one just because you felt like you were going too many favorites. You had to fade a favorite, and you felt like this was the one you were going with.
Well, I love the favorites, but I don't know that besides like the Saints or the Giants, I don't know why the Broncos would be a 7-point favorite against anyone. I mean, maybe the Bengals are really that bad also.
I mean, which team do you think's a better team right now? Minnesota with Wentz starting or this Denver team?
Minnesota with Wentz starting. Denver's not been impressive at all. Yeah, they competed with the Chargers. Division games, that's its own ball game.
Okay.
I think
So we're
Denver
on the
will
opposite ends on this one. I like it.
And I think Denver will get it figured out. And maybe this is the week they do, but until they do, I'm not going to keep. Denver's let me down already 3 times this year. I'm not like, I'm not in. I was not in on the Bengals with Joe Burrow. So I'm definitely not in on it. But like 7 points, it's a bunch of points. You mentioned it earlier where you struggle with the big spreads. I'm taking the odds. It stinks. Like I said, I don't like it, but I got to.
This week, are we doing our head-to-head, like in separate parlays?
Everything we disagreed on?
It's 4 games.
Sure. Yeah, let us know. You riding Team Walker or Team Ivy? Right now, he's got the lead. He's got a better record, basically, in every way you want to look at it. But going head-to-head just makes you flip.
That'd be what? it'd be Colts, Chicago, Jets, and Denver. Or for
Yeah.
you, it'd be Rams, Vegas, Miami, or Cincinnati. Okay, I like it.
I'm already regretting the Vegas one. Those guys stink. I mean, they were one of my picks last week, dude.
Yeah.
Eh,
When are you
crazy.
going to give them the little make or break situation?
I'm gonna give Ashton Genty the make or break situation this week, and it's not his fault. But if they're gonna do anything, like this is a week where they can actually establish the run a little.
Yeah.
All his numbers are good before contact. It's just he's getting hit so soon.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty's a good football player. We need to stop hating on him.
Yeah, what's that stat? All his yards are like 101% after contact.
Like, listen, man.
Like,
People
how do you
always,
go over 100%?
I get it, and we're gonna be guilty of this, but dude, we're 3 weeks into his career, and people are calling him a bust as a running back. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. All right, Alexander, you have any final thoughts and closing remarks? I thought it was a really good pod. Like you said, a lot of head to head, a lot of different ones.
I like it.
I got my 5 anytime touchdowns. One running back heavy this week, 5 RBs, baby.
I like it. I like it. Hopefully, with the head to heads, Walker picks pull through. That make me feel real good. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I hope every pick you made besides the ones that oppose me, you're right on. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
We out.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Yeah, like people were all like, "Oh, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay." Yeah, you know what I mean.
Agreed.
In all seriousness, you think the Eagles win by like 20?